Hey guys, congratulations on finishing your beats. Thank you for joining me. So happy that you guys, came with me on this class. I hope that from this point on you can keep expanding and growing, finding yourself along the way. I know that for me it was a process of like everything. It just takes practice, it takes dedication, it takes, finding yourself. Like at the beginning you'll probably think that, you want to do a specific thing, but by going into that and trying different, options and navigating in different arenas, it will help you a lot to find your sound. Like maybe there's a genre or something specific that everybody's doing at the same time, and probably you want to do the same. But how do you set yourself apart from all of those guys doing it? How do you set yourself apart from all those producers that are probably more established than you? It's just finding your sound, finding whatever. Whenever you come into a room and play a beat or play an instrumental or bring a song, something's gonna catch the attention of the people, either the artists, the songwriters, your friends, whoever's gonna listen to your music, just because it has something distinct and different, and that's what you bring to the table. Bring a lot of more of like who you are to your music, whether it's in the details, whether it's mixing different genres, different ideas into a specific sound that's been done in a certain way for a long time. Maybe you can bring a different touch to that and create what would be your sound, and that for me would be the best thing for you to grow as a producer. So for example, when I started, my things were really, trying to replicate what, the people that I admire were doing. And, growing up in, Puerto Rico, like reggaeton was becoming something big. So, I tend to like listen to what the Looney Tunes were doing, which, were the best producers at the time. Nelly, the Secret Weapon was doing, who was also an amazing producer. And just, I'll bring into my, at that time I was working on FL Studio. So I would just bring their songs, and I'll try just to mimic everything that I could. Like, how do they sound? How do they make this, kick sound like this? So I'll just start playing around with knobs, like different kick sounds, and, try to get as close as possible. And by doing that, I learned a lot. I try to, maybe by adding this compression, I get really close to the certain sound that they had in that song. And now is that's a tool that I could use moving forward. And little by little, I started learning about EQ, probably, adding some more low end to my beat so it don't sound, as flat. And that really helped me a lot just to mimic and try to replicate the people that I admire, people that really inspire me to do music. And by doing that, I think I start to find myself along the way. So I just would just be sure of like where do you want to go, who are those people that are like guiding you, and just try to follow in their steps. But along the way, just try to be yourself and not be a different version of them, but use their tools as inspiration and as a guide to just keep growing and keep finding yourself along the way. So another thing that's really helped me, in my growth as a producer is really navigating in different styles of, music, different genres. And maybe, a lot of people know me for doing reggaeton, and, that's the first door that was open to me when I started as a producer. But from the beginning, I'm just a fan of music. And, maybe at the beginning, what people were looking from me or trying to, what would give me, placements or, people would recognize me is because I had the sound that people were looking for, which was, reggaeton. But I think I had to set, myself apart from all the other producers that were doing reggaeton at that time. And that's where my influences and, the love for music comes in. And, I used to love rock music. I used to listen to, I start, growing up and coming into this love of music in the early, 2000s. So, Linkin Park, System of a Down, like Blink 182, like all these bands like started to, inspire me musically. And maybe it wasn't, reggaeton, what, maybe what the majority of my friends were listening to, what, when I first ended up like coming into a studio, what they were looking from me. But maybe this adds a little bit of certain ideas and certain twists that I could add to start coming up with my sound. So maybe adding some of the distortions that I used to listen in the guitars, or some of the different variations, maybe adding some live instrumentation. Like it really helped me a lot in to grow and build. And at the same time, we still have, hip hop, and looking up to the Neptunes and looking up to Timbaland and Scott Storch and, Dr. Dre and like Kanye West, like all of these guys, like little by little start to, add more and more to what would be my sound. So maybe, reggaeton was normally done with certain samples in the drums. I just figured that, I love these guys, how they produce in hip hop. Like, how would it sound if I just grab their drums into my drum, groove, to my, reggaeton pattern and just give it a different twist? And it totally helped me a lot. It started giving me a distinct different sound. And nowadays, it's something that a lot of people are doing. You have different moments and you have a lot of more of a dynamic, not always sounding, the same, but also having the same groove. So I think that's something to explore. Keep on, even though maybe the songwriters are not looking, for that genre specific from you, it will help you a lot, going forward to be able to explore in different things. And probably you'll find a way to, grow as a producer, not be locked in a box as, you just could do one genre, but just be a fan of music, just be able to explore, try it. Maybe, it doesn't work at all, but at least you gave yourself a chance. And, that would be something special that, at least for me, it really helped me a lot. And it helped me find myself as a producer. Okay, guys, so just to recap, just, find yourself along the way, keep making, music and using all these steps, and probably, have an open mind of the different approaches to be able to create a song. Find, what's gonna like inspire you to be able to become, a producer, whether it's a specific genre or just being able to learn a lot of different ways or a lot of different styles. And thank you so much, again for joining me, and congrats, on finishing this class. I'm super excited and, looking forward to seeing and hearing, the music that you guys create.